Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are going to be working out in the cut flower garden. There are some things that need to get done that I've been procrastinating, putting off, all of the above. You know how it gets, like you just have all of these projects and everything is just starting to pile on and on and on. And the cut flower garden is a space. It's like my little sanctuary. So I always like to have it tidy and have that kind of all set for the season, but it's kind of like we're late. We're late to getting some things done that we need to get done, especially because we are going to be taking off for a couple of days. I want to make sure that everything is set and ready to go for when we're gone. So we're going to do a little maintenance today. I also want to give you guys an update on our zinnias and our dahlias. We're going to be planting some things out in the cut flower garden today. Let's see, what else are we going to do? I think my stepdad and Sergey are going to come out and put in the T-posts for me. And then what else we have? Oh, we're also going to put down more predatory mite, and I'll talk to you guys about that. And then just kind of clean it up and kind of like a mishmash of things that we got to get done. All right, so let me show you guys the mites first. And Sergey's like, you're actually not late. You're just showing everybody all of the steps that we take, which makes me feel better because sometimes I feel like I'm just running out of time and just taking forever. So last time we got the mites, it was actually Sergey and my stepdad. I was in England when they spread them. And which ones did you get last time, love?
The same curcumin.
The curcumis. And they're in these little pouches because they sold out of the bulk order, but we do have a pickup next week. So we will be picking up the bulk order next week. So
we have the crazy mites.
The crazy mites, that's right.
Those red.
Which we didn't do this time.
No.
Right? Okay. Which, you know what's funny? I remember as a kid seeing those little crazy mites everywhere, those like tiny little red bugs. Like they almost look like little spiders, and I think that was them, but I never see them anymore. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. But anyways, yeah, we do spray for everything, so that's probably why these beneficials are all gone.
Yeah. She's got to go back to the roots.
Yep. So the different mites that we're also going to be using today is this one here, Stratiolaelaps. And this is a soil-dwelling mite. And we are going to be spreading this on the soil. And the great thing about this variety of mites is that they will repopulate themselves in the soil. And I think one bag, what is it? 1,000 square feet? 1,000 square feet. So we got two. So I plan on putting them in the dahlia beds, also in the zinnia beds, pretty much everywhere in the cut flower garden, also at the base of our roses. And then we will go back in with the other mites to go on the roses. So anything that's really flowering right now. And the thing with these is you have to reapply them every 10 days, which we did not do. So I'm trying really hard to just stay on top of applying the mites, just because I'm still seeing quite a bit of thrip activity in some of our roses. And they're just, they're one of those things that I don't want to be in our dahlias. We did have some last year and it wasn't too bad, but it's just one of those things that you don't want spread in. It's better to get after it before it gets out of control. So I'm going to like set an alarm on my schedule, just an order ahead of time. That way I can spread them every 10 days. And I might just carry that throughout the summer. I don't know yet. But I'm excited to see these, or excited to try these soil dwelling ones, because I think that is going to help a lot. And the fact that they repopulate themselves is great. And so you don't have to constantly reapply. So I think we'll do a combination of the two and then see how that goes. We'll do that. And then let me show you how the flowers are looking right now. I do have to fertilize the dahlias because I have not fed them yet. And I usually feed them maybe like a month or so after I plant them, once they start coming up. So it's been, I'm a little bit late to that, but that's okay because they're putting on quite a bit of growth. And then there are others that really aren't doing anything, which this happens every year. There's just some varieties, they just take their sweet time. Like, especially like Cafe au Lait, that's usually like my last girl to bloom, but she's beautiful, so it's fine. But it's just, yeah, some of them are not coming up. A couple of them did rot. That's why I always tell you guys to like have, I would say 5 to 10% extra from what you originally planted, just because these things do happen and it's nobody's fault. It just, you know, it happens. So let me show you what the garden is looking like. We do have to pick up some things. The tomatoes also need a little bit of our attention because we like to keep our tomatoes really tidy. And well, when I was out there yesterday, I saw a lot of suckers. So I was like, ooh, we got to get after that. So let's begin. So here's the zinnia bed, and that's doing really well. I did have to come in and reseed this bed because when I was in England, I think my stepdad might have forgot that I had seeded or direct sow this portion here. And I think it just got too dry and nothing happened. So I came back and I quickly reseeded the space. So they're taking their time, but I do have to come in and just remove some of the weeds in here. There's also some celosia that's self-seeded that we need to remove. And over here, look at this. There's some little cute pansy and violas that are popping up. I don't know where they came from, but I'm gonna leave them there because I think that's so cute. So the zinnias are all doing really good, and we can go over all of the different varieties in another video, just a little bit more detail. We also have some cosmos back here. Now these came from England, and I'm so excited for you to see these when they bloom because they're absolutely fantastic. They're new this year. So I'm very excited about that. I have some celosia. Look at this. I need to come in and just remove a lot of these. I just like direct sow these. These are seeds that I saved, and I went a little bit heavy-handed just because I just wanted to have reassurance that we would have something. But now we need to come in and just thin that out. I should have thinned it out earlier, but that's okay. We have some more celosia, lisianthus, a rogue zinnia that I'm just waiting to see what it looks like. We have some scabiosa, lots of scabiosa over here. And then we have tweedia. Look at those seed pods. That's fun. Lacy pink flower, and then some cherry caramel phlox. I've definitely been harvesting some flowers from the beds already, but I'm just excited for the dahlias because those bring me so much joy. And this has been bringing me joy too, but the dahlias, when they start, oh, I get so excited. I also want to come in and just clean up some of our roses here. I just got to cut this back and just pick up everything that's fallen over here and just pick up some of the just stuff that we've been leaving around. I want to take out the containers that we don't have anything going on in right now. These were the ones that we had our bulb lasagnas in. Look at this mess. So I got to pick those up. I also want to move these, our herb garden that I planted with mom, move some of these things out, and then just take a little swipe through at the tomatoes. They're looking really good, but I just want to come in and remove like some of these suckers right here, just to make sure they don't get too wild. All right, so let's go ahead and start weeding the beds. We'll come in and we will fertilize the dahlias, and we'll talk about the dahlias here in a bit. We're gonna plant in the dahlia beds, and I'll show you what we're gonna be planting here. And then we will just get things tidied up. All right, here is the cut flower garden before. Just get all of these things picked up. So real quick, when you guys are pinching your zinnias, all you want to do, like you can tell I haven't pinched a lot of these. So they're growing kind of tall and leggy, where there's others that I have pinched and they're a lot bushier. So what I do is I follow it down to where it's starting to branch off, and I'll just cut that off. Now, of course, these are going to be a lot shorter than a normal stem would, or at least the ones that I like to harvest. I like to get at least a foot long stem, but this is still usable. So I will do that. Well, I might come in and do it all today, or I might just leave these a little bit longer and then come through and just really start pinching them off so we can start seeing more branches, and this will all get full real quick. This will just fill in quite a bit. I usually like to pinch our zinnias pretty early on, but I just didn't have the chance. So yeah. And then I'm just going to come through and weed everything. And it might feel a little tedious, but it does make a difference, because if you allow these weeds to grow, it can be so obnoxious and it'll take away from the beauty. Now, some of these little tiny little starts I will pull off, but some of these celosia that are putting on more size, I'm going to let them be. And then I might just transplant them out into the garden, which I've done before. I've been pretty good about keeping the zinnia bed weed free. There's not too much. So I think I direct sow some lacy blue flowers here, but they're not doing much. So what I'm going to do is take some of these celosia here that are crowded, and I'm just going to try to take the strongest ones and then just pop them over here. Now they will wilt at first, but they'll make their way back up. And we just want to thin everything out. That way things start to grow nice and strong. So you see I just gently removed this one. You see there's the root structure. And then I'll just take, let me just move this netting back a little bit. I left the netting here so the squirrels wouldn't dig my seeds up. I'll just make a hole right here, like that, and then just drop these in, like that. So again, out of that pile that I just removed, I'll gently pick through the stronger ones. This is probably it right here. And then I will plant this one. All right, so let me show you how we are putting in the T-posts. So we have 6 feet long T-posts. Stop. That's so obnoxious. Stop. So we have them. We have 6 in each bed, and I spray paint my T-post black with some Rust-Oleum paint. I always have. I just think the black just helps everything disappear. So anyways, so we are putting them in each corner and then 2 in the middle. And then what I'll do is I'll come in with black, is it nylon? Nylon. Yeah. And we ordered on Amazon, and I'll actually link it down below for you guys because it's way better than using like jute. I used to use jute, but it breaks over time, especially when it gets wet. It gets kind of brittle. Anyways, and then I will just string them along each T-post and then across each one. So kind of corral them through. And that is how I stake up all of our dahlias in the cut flower garden. So these are, again, are 6 feet long. And then Sergey and my stepdad are just driving them in. Don't you have like a post thing?
Yeah, we do, but I feel like with this big hammer, I get a little bit more power into it.
Oh, okay.
And then we drive it in about a foot.
A foot. Okay, so a foot in and at each corner of the beds, and then we just make sure that they're all pointed the same direction. So you see how these little spikes are out. This is in. That's the same thing.
And leave the spikes out. That way we can have something for the string to kind of like grab onto.
Yes, exactly. And that way it also helps my OCD brain count how far up I need to go in each one, just to make sure it's perfectly leveled and straight.
Well, hopefully I pounded them in evenly into the ground because that will mess up your count.
I don't think you did, but there's one over there that looks higher. Anyways, I'll let you get back to it. Okay, wait, Sergey is going to show you guys what he's doing to add the drip. But hold on, we're using drip tape. We had ours in for 3 years.
Yeah, we had it for a while. I mean, and there was so much damage to it.
Yeah.
Claudia's fault.
No, it's not.
Is it my dahlias in here? Whose dahlias are in here?
But aren't you the one that flips the beds every year? I don't touch the drip.
And
Anyways,
I
we're
removed
getting
the
off
drip.
topic.
I removed the drip before.
We're getting off topic.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, because right, we flipped the beds, we restained the beds. We removed the drip. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And even though we tried to like cover them up, but you can see that obviously they got aged already. So what I want to do is, because this drip tape has like these little emitters in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
They get clogged up very easy. So to prevent that, I'm going to kind of flush this line out.
Oh gosh, so water's gonna go everywhere.
Yeah, temporarily.
Okay.
Just super.
Okay, so each bed has its own water source. That way we can turn on and off the bed. So for example, the dahlias don't need to be watered every day. So we usually have these beds off and we do a deep water a few times a week, and for about like 30 to 45 minutes, sometimes longer. And if it's really hot, I will hose them down with water too. So like, I think there's a triple digit day next week, which is one, gross, which I'm just not looking forward to. So that I will water them deeply, but I'll also just come in and hose them off.
Yeah. So, right, there's a situation going on here. Now, we could just open the line and have water shoot out, but it will make a huge mess. So I'm just created this little tiny contraption that I'm going to put it over and...
Each bed. So you're going to do this?
No. Just right now.
Just right now, okay.
Just to quickly flush it, right?
Right.
And then install the drip.
Okay. My stepdad is closing all of the beds. That way we can flush this one out.
I have no idea what's going to happen.
All right, so
We're going to go.
Here we go. Oh gosh. Ooh. Oh, that's not bad.
I should have had it like come this way. Okay. Look, my over-engineering what I wanted to do is I wanted to put a couple more elbows in here to just come down. But it makes sense, right?
Sergey, you over-engineer everything. That's just a way.
The soil accepted it. Okay,
yeah.
No
See,
biggie.
This is his.
It's okay.
You give him a task and he just does it, but he does it so well that I'm just like, we don't have to do it that perfect. Just, you know. I love that about you, sweetie. I love it about you.
Is the way that it is because of my over-engineering.
Yeah, you guys, this one's an overthinker, overachiever, but it's also great. 3 rows. I want to do 3 rows of drip in the dahlia beds, and then the other beds I'll do 4 or 5.
I'm gonna go 1 row on the outside of each one. And then on which side do you want it running down the middle? Now, since the garden naturally slopes down, I think we should put it on this side of the...
That's fine, just as long as they're evenly spaced.
Well, no, they won't be perfectly evenly.
Oh, they won't? Okay, that's fine.
You planted them evenly, and I can't put it right in the middle of your dahlia.
Okay, that's fine.
It'll have to be to this side.
Okay, off to the side. So this is the drip tape that we use. We get it from Drip Depot, I think. Can you get this online, Sergey?
Yep.
Yeah, so I'll put the website down below for you guys, but it just comes in this reel here, and then you just cut it to size, and then you use, can I have those connectors? You use all of these connectors to attach them.
So basically what it's going to look like is... Right, so this would be for three strands. We have the thing that we just flushed out right here, okay? And it's going to have 1 line, 2 line, 3 line, 3 rows, I mean. Basically what that's gonna be like is...
So you attach it.
You screw that all the way back, put it in.
And then you just tighten it. And that's it. And then we secure them down to the bed with a garden staple.
Yeah.
That's it. Super easy. Super easy.
And I like to have them facing up. That way...
they don't get clogged.
Yeah, they don't get clogged or too much, exposure to soil and stuff like that.
And they just sit above the plants or above the soil, I mean.
Yep, all the time.
Okay, have fun.
Okay, so we got it all laid down. And before I make any final adjustments and get them anchored in, I'm just going to do one last test.
So you guys can see there are 3 rows going.
Yep. Let's see if anything goes crazy.
See? Easy.
So now we're just going to take more garden staples and put them into place.
Yep, because if you don't staple them in, that's what happens. You see how they kind of curve out like that?
And that tells me I need to tighten that one up.
Yeah.
I gave it too much slack.
Okay, so he'll tighten it up a bit, and then we will use garden staples just to hold them down. And that's it. That's how we do our drip in our beds. I'm going to cut these roses back. I'm just cutting back down to the next set of 5 leaves. I've done videos on pruning roses, which I'll link down below. Oh, there's a bee in here that's stuck. Let's let her out. Come on, little one. Where do you want to go? How about you go there? Come on. She's just hanging out. Come on. There you go. There we go. So here's a good example. We have several sets of leaves that are 5. So because I want this rose to grow outward, I'm gonna cut right there. If I cut right here, it would start blooming that way. All right, the roses look so much better. I'm happy with the way that they're looking. I do want to come in and just continue cleaning them up, just because in some areas they're kind of dense and I don't want that. I want them to have plenty of airflow. All right, so now what I would like to do is come in and plant some of these alyssum in our dahlia beds, because these should help with aphids. And we don't have a huge aphid problem, but sometimes they do creep around. And I think it'll just be pretty, especially because I like to leaf up our dahlias. It'll just be nice to have something at the base. So I'm going to be planting out this Easter bonnet mix and then this white one. So these get 46 inches tall and 10 inches wide. And then this white one, this is snow crystals. These again will require full sun. And these grow 5 inches tall and 10 inches wide. So let's plant some of these in our dahlia beds. I think I'm only going to plant this first bed here because Sergey is still, him and my stepdad are still working on getting the T-post in. So, and they haven't gotten to the drip yet. So I want to make sure I don't do it beforehand, plant them beforehand, because it's going to be more challenging to get the drip in. So let's plant up this bed first so you can see what that's going to look like. All right, and the last mix that I have here is the Easter bonnet violet. So this one is going to be more of that uniform. I thought they were all just the Easter bonnet. And then these, same thing, 46 inches tall and 10 to 12 inches wide. So what I'm thinking is alternating, doing, let's see, an Easter bonnet here and then the violet next, because we have 2 of each. And then we can do the white ones around the perimeter of the beds. So first what I'll do is just remove some of these lower leaves of our dahlia, which I do anyway. That way there's more airflow, especially because I plant our dahlias so tightly. I have to keep their lower leaves off.
Oh my God, that's gonna make it so easy for me to do the drip.
Yeah. Sergey's like, that's gonna make it so easy for me to do the drip. All right, I am going to spread the predatory soil mites. It's funny because I wanted to see them, but you're not going to be able to see them. So I'm just going to come in and go all the way down the middle of each bed. And I think, are we going to use one per all of the beds?
Bag for all the bags.
All the beds. All the bags.
And the other bag will be for what? Split between your front.
The roses.
Yeah.
Yes, we just applied Rose RX, so we want to wait. And then we will do the roses tomorrow. So let's just get this bag out. And then I'll also wait to do the other mites tomorrow as well. And you guys already saw Sergey apply that in the video that he did with my stepdad. You sprinkle it around. That one's easier because you can sprinkle it on the flowers and the foliage. Where this, I'm just gonna go like at the base of the plants and spread them throughout. Just like this.
Well, you know, a little less.
A little less, okay.
Yeah, we're gonna go through it real quick.
Okay. And the nice thing about these mites is that they will eat the thrips at their first stage, and they multiply. Yep.
I think like as long as you don't kill heavily or you don't use heavy insecticide.
I know. Hold on, helicopter. So like Sergey was trying to say, as long as you don't use till in or till your soil heavily and use insecticide, they'll continue multiplying.
Insecticide,
Herbicide, yeah. Yep.
They will multiply, they will flourish, and I think the lady said
3?
no, several years.
Really?
Several years.
Oh, fantastic. All right, and then I'm going to spread some around our ice cap roses here, right around our Shishigashira maple. So for these little sachets, again, before we bought it in bulk and you just spread them out, these came in little sachets because that's all they had left. And they're supposed to be like a tiny little hole, like right there. And you're supposed to just hang it like around your property. But Sergey made a little tear. And why can't we just, can I just open this?
Let's see how it looks.
Okay. Experiment. Oh, okay. It's just like how it was before.
Exactly how it was before.
So they come in bulk like this.
You see them?
I don't know.
I didn't see them before.
I did. They're like little red. Or those are the
other crazy mites.
Yeah. What you're just paying for.
Bark dust.
I know that's not true. So what you, right? This is what you do?
Just like that.
So you just like. Ooh.
To tear this one.
Okay.
Hang it.
Oh, oops. We'll follow the instructions for the other methods, but I just wanted to show you guys.
Yeah, they're supposed to come out of the hole. See, that's
That
a
hole
bigger
is so
hole.
well,
Well, this one's bigger than the other one, but
Okay.
I don't know why. It's just.
maybe it's to protect them.
But when you pour them out bulk, where's the protection? Anyway,
Yeah.
let's speed it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're just gonna add another one,
Right there.
or let's hang it on the plant. Then we'll remove it.
Oh yeah, how long are you supposed to keep it on for?
I don't know.
We need to call them and find out.
I'm sure maybe there are directions, but
Probably. So I was going to fertilize the dahlias. However, I just put down those mites and I feel kind of bad watering right now. So what I'm going to do is wait to water tomorrow morning or feed them tomorrow morning. And I'm going to fertilize them I usually do like every 3 weeks. I'm going to bump it up to every 2 weeks for a little bit, just so we can put a little bit more size on them. And I'm using a different fertilizer. I usually use a product called More Bloom, and I've had really great success with that, and we ran out, and I really wanted to try the Bloom for these. I've used Bloom before for other plants, and it's done really well. Whatever fertilizer you do use for your dahlias, you just want to make sure that the second 2 numbers are twice of what the first number is. So for example, you can do like a 5, 10, 10. This one, I believe, is a 1, 3, 1. Again, this is going to be really geared towards More Blooms, and it's organic. It has fish fertilizer. It has a lot of really great ingredients. A lot of farmers use fish emulsion to fertilize their dahlias. So this has that. So again, I'm going to fertilize them every couple of weeks instead of every 3 weeks and see how that goes. And I just have a big watering can here. I love this thing. And the ratio is half cap per quart of water. This is 13 liters. So I'm going to do 7 full caps is what I did for the zinnias. That's right. For this whole big thing right here. And then I'll just go around and fertilize everybody. Now you want to make sure that you shake this really well because it does settle. And this is what it looks like if you haven't seen it before. So you see it's just like this brown liquid. So I'm just going to fill it up. So we'll do 1. Let's see, show you guys. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I usually have like a little stirring stick, but what you can also do is just change your setting to like jet. And that does it.
Oh my God, it's taking a long time to fill it up, but this is like twice as big than
Yeah.
as your typical pail.
It is big. But it was nice when I was fertilizing the other beds.
Less strips?
Less strips, yep. So then I'll just go around and fertilize everybody. So all of our annuals, all of our flowers. All right, we are starting to lose daylight, so I want to show you what we've done here before it gets too dark. So we came in and weeded all of the beds. Now these two beds I already fertilized yesterday. I will wait to fertilize the dahlias until tomorrow morning, and again we'll just stay on top of fertilizing them and do it every two weeks or so, just to get them going. I mean, they're doing pretty good. They're putting on quite a bit of size right now, which I'm happy about. We came in and weeded this bed. It looks so much better, and even after thinning everything out, it looks so great. And do you see how they start to wilt? The celosia that I transplanted, that's totally fine. You just want to make sure you keep them nice and moist, and they will start to perk up for you. So don't be alarmed if they do that. My stepdad removed all of the containers that we had back here, so now we just have our little herb corner of the garden, and I love it. I might shift these pots around a little bit as well. Now these do have drip running to them, however they're not hooked up yet. We just need to tap into our main line, but because I haven't settled on where I want to keep them, we haven't done that yet, so we've been hand watering them. But I think I like it over here. We'll just live with it for a little bit and see how it goes. Now Sergey is coming around and thinning out his tomatoes. You can see, again, these suckers here. You just want to pinch those off so your plants don't get wild. But he likes to do that. These are kind of his babies, so he takes really good care of them and makes sure that they stay nice and tidy all season long. He's on the deck. He's like, I want to talk about them. Well, you snooze, you lose. Now here's what's going on with the dahlias. Several of them have not come up yet. Some of them rotted, which is always a bummer, especially some of the more expensive ones that you buy, and they rot and you're just like, ugh, that was $50. So that one stings a little bit. Yeah, I think that was a $50 tuber that didn't bloom. Isn't that sad? And I only got one. I don't know, I have to call, I might ask. He's like, that's why you buy two. That's a lot of money. But I get it. Some of these are really rare varieties, so I completely get it. I don't mind it at all. I just mind that they didn't do anything. So I might reach out to I have to see where I ordered it from, because we had so many different farms that we ordered from this year. And so I need to reach out to them and see if they can replace it and what they can do. But anyways, other than that, there are other ones that didn't come up, and that always happens. I mean, it's just the name of the game. You plant so many, some of them will just rot. Some of them take a long time to come up. I'll show you some that are like just coming up while everybody else is so ahead of the game. So again, that's why I always say when you're planting dahlias, always have a reserve pile. That way you can come in and replace any that aren't blooming or aren't growing for you. You can even pot them up in like a 1-gallon container early on. And if they all bloom for you, great. You can give away those dahlias, or you can plant them out in your landscape. Or you can do what I did and procrastinate, and I still have a room full of dahlias that I'm going to come out and plop out. I still need to decide which colors I'm going to put in the areas that are missing some. So I'm going to do that tonight and get out here tomorrow morning and get those planted. Just because we should get them in the ground sooner than later. We still have plenty of time. It is really late to plant dahlias. But in our zone, we garden here in Zone 8B in Oregon, we need 100 days for them to bloom. They need 100 days in the ground. And our first frost isn't until like late November. So I'm not worried about them catching up. They will eventually catch up to the other ones. Again, I just want to make sure that they produce more tubers. So if we don't get a lot of blooms from them, that's fine. As long as I can get more tuber production, it'll be perfectly fine. So here are some examples of some of those blank areas. You can see here's one that's coming up, and it's like trying so hard. Do you even see it? It's like right there. It's really, really trying. But boy, she's struggling. While others, neighboring her, look at how big these are. They're massive. And then there are other ones that are teeny tiny. And other ones are way bigger. So it's just funny to see the variation in sizes in the dahlias. Again, some of them take longer to bloom. Some of them just come straight up. I have other dahlias in the landscape that are already blooming and they look beautiful. Some of these are just kind of taking their time. And I will say it has been a little bit of a weird weather year for us because it started out kind of warm in June. We had a few days that was like super hot, or like a week, like a stretch of really hot weather. And I feel like that really stressed out some of our plants, and some of them were like, what am I doing? What are we doing? It's too hot. And then we had like a week of really heavy rains. And so the weather's just kind of been inconsistent, and that also will prolong things, especially like our dahlias. They can be a little bit, not finicky, but sometimes if like the weather is weird, I notice they react a little bit differently than normal years where we kind of work up to the warmer weather, they'll start growing. So anyways, all to say is it's been kind of weird. I'm sure you guys have experienced some weird weather in your zones too. I think a lot of people have. So I'm curious to see how these are going to do like mid-season, which we're kind of reaching that point to see like how they're going to look by the end of like September. I think like early September, mid-September, they're really putting on a great show. So that's kind of why I want to up the fertilizer, just to like, come on guys, like, let's go. We don't have time to play around. There's a lot of green here. I want to see more color. Anyways, I'm not concerned about them at all. I am bummed that several of them didn't come up, but that's just what happens.
I came running.
Oh, Sergey's like, I have to tell you guys something. Go ahead, Sergey.
So I came running. I heard Claudia talking about she's bummed out that some of them didn't come out. Do
we want to show them?
Yeah.
Okay. Sergey.
So, wait. My story.
Okay.
So when Claudia was in England, having the time of her life,
I was.
I planted 2 beds full of dahlias for her.
Yep. This is one of them, right?
Yeah, this is one of them.
It looks so good.
And I spaced them out perfectly. I labeled every single one, showed them the labels.
Oh yeah, look at the labels, you guys. There's nothing written on them. Like they all, look at this. See? And he called me the other day, what were you doing out here? You're like, I have terrible news. All of the labels are missing. And I was like,
I literally went into a panic because I'm like, how are you going to identify? And she's like, yeah, I know, that's fine. And I'm like, what do you mean that's fine? Here I am panicking. They're not even mine. And she's like, yeah, that's fine. I'll just identify them when they bloom.
Yeah. He literally, his voice was like, you were so concerned. You're like, babe, I'm so sorry.
Because, we don't have the drip tape down.
Yeah.
We were overhead watering.
That's why what happened. Yeah.
It got washed away.
Well, and I think he used like
too fine of a pen.
Too fine of a pen. That's what it was.
We didn't have so many of the sticks.
I know. Well, I think next year there's a different type of tag I'm going to use next year. I'll show you.
Well, like my little plastic ones.
Well, your plastic ones
held up very well.
They're doing great. I mean, they're puny, so it's hard to see them. So I want to get some bigger ones for the dahlia beds. But yeah, he was so concerned, and I was like, oh, it's fine. The trauma you experienced.
Yeah, I needed like a sounding board, a therapist here, because
he was panicking.
I'm down.
No, you did great. You're doing great. We blew the cut flower garden out a little bit, but I still want to come in and do more of a detailed cleanup. But of course, I'll wait for Sergey and my stepdad to finish the drip tape. And here is this bed with the alyssum planted. Isn't that so cute? Like, even if they don't do much, just to have a little bit of color below, especially when the dahlias are not doing much right now. I don't know. I think that's so cute. And I do plan on doing this every year now. We'll see how it works. And as long as they don't interrupt our dahlias, which I don't think they will, I will probably continue this on. You can even tuck them in the actual bed. But once these start putting on more growth, you're not going to see a lot of soil in the middle here. But look, we do have one. She's almost ready. And like I said, other dahlias in the landscape, they're already blooming, doing their own thing. These are just taking a little bit longer. Anyways, I hope that was insightful for you guys. We got so many comments last year about how we maintain our cut flower garden and how do we keep everything tidy. And this is part of that process. It does take maintenance to keep everything beautiful and clean and, you know, just tidy. And I like that. I don't like, there are areas in the garden where I don't mind letting it get a little bit unruly, and I am letting some things grow. Like we have zinnias growing in the path of the cut flower garden, and I'm just like, all right, you want to grow there? I'll let you grow there as long as you survive. I'm not going to give you any special care. So we have one zinnia like literally growing. I'll show you guys in the middle of the pathway, and I was just like, all right, but everything else, yeah, garden fabric through rocks, pebbles. Mm-hmm. It's still growing. No water. I never water it. It's thriving. Isn't that wild? Doesn't that make you angry? Sergey's like, and then they have the perfect condition over here and they're complaining. While this one here is just trying to survive and it's doing great. So I'm just going to let it do its own thing. I'll make sure to link down below our string that we use to actually tie up our dahlias. Again, the nylon fabric is just a lot better. It's going to be a lot sturdy and you can reuse it. And I'll use the black one just to make sure that it kind of fades away like the rest of our T-posts and everything else that we use to stake up our dahlias. It's a lot neater. It's a lot cleaner that way. And I have a feeling these are going to start blooming here quickly. So we'll definitely keep you guys posted and show you the space, how it evolves over time. I'll come in tomorrow and continue planting the alyssum as soon as they get the drip in. And then I think that will be it as far as planting goes, other than the dahlias that we have to replace in the cut flower garden. And I just can't wait to start making bouquets because I do plan on selling bouquets this year. So I'm just like excited, like, oh, it's almost time. I'm so excited. Anyways, again, I hope this was insightful for you guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today in my garden, and I will see you guys in our next video. Bye-bye. Here's the little weirdo that's just growing inside the gravel path. She's just doing her own thing.